right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome everyone here to the Status of Synthwave. My name is Dennis G. We are episode 6, season 12, and we have our very special guest, Viperdrive, in the house.
And I'm Neon Fox. Hey, Mr. Drive, how you doing?
Yo, what's going on? Good to be here. How's it hanging?
It's, low and to the left.
Yes.
Nice,
all day
nice.
long.
Yeah.
I don't mean as in I'm trying to imagine it, but hey,
Hey, we all have done that at occasion.
I'm lying. I'm imagining it.
We're talking about reverb, right?
Yes.
Of course.
Jules has the largest amount of reverb in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, moving on to the show, the state of synth. I don't know why I was going all thespian a little earlier.
I think the status of synthwave.
I think it's this new lifestyle that I'm living, Jules. I am just chilling right now with a nice glass of just tart cherry, organic cherry juice, and I'm just feeling fancy tonight, Jules.
Guess what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking?
Coke. What else?
Is it the fancy Coke, like the Coke I had earlier, which is the Oreo flavored Coke Zero?
It's the high class Coke, which is just Coke regular.
Jules,
None of that.
That is
blasphemous flavoring of.
What is that? What's that stuff that they put in high fructose corn syrup, Jules? Terrible.
No, but we don't use that here in Canada.
You flavor it with maple syrup, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. It's only the Americans who have like intravenous fructose going into their...
All right, if we're going to talk about this. Now, Alex, Mr. Viperdrive, you are over sounds like you're in the UK, is that correct?
I am indeed in Wales, aka God's country.
Very good. Now, in Wales, in God's country, do they have the soft drink with the high fructose corn syrup, or do they put I don't know what? I feel like
I think they use normal sucrose over in the UK.
Sugar cubes, maybe.
Let me Google that for you. 1 second. No, I don't think we use it here. It's one of the. I'm pretty sure it's one of the banned ingredients. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think most countries ban.
I think it is. Yeah.
Are you serious? Now wait a minute. They could not have banned high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
In other countries. That's readily available. That's in every single soft drink that you buy in the US. I don't believe you.
But,
it's not banned, apparently. I'm Googling as we speak.
Right. We need a fact checker. If anyone out there is on the IRC and has hard facts that they can pass along.
Okay, Ireland, Sweden, Austria, Uruguay, Lithuania, and India.
It's banned?
It's not banned. It's not used at all.
Oh my god!
And most other countries have limits on how.
This explains a lot, actually. But Jules, I am past that. Again, I am on a new life.
The new Groot.
It's the new Groot. I am having some tart cherry juice. It's got to be tart, because that's got things in it.
You like tartness.
Tartness. I like my tart. The brand is called RW Canusen, RW Canusen, and it is available at your organic supermarket, at fancier stores, not the cheap stores where they sell the garbage. High fructose.
Still fishing for some
sponsorship.
We are always fishing for it. If you would like to sponsor the State of Synth, just send Dennis a $50 bill, and I will put you on for the next 5 seasons, because we're cheap. We're cheap like that.
That's reasonable.
It's very reasonable prices. So, yes, call us now, send us an email, reach out, and touch someone. All right, so...
okay, wait. Before we go any further, I want to remind our listeners we are live.
Unfortunately.
And if you happen to be tuned into the Nightride.fm website with the IRC chat, or you're in our YouTube station listening, say hi, because we like shouting out names. And I'm looking at a bunch of people in our chats right now.
Very nice.
I got to throw some shout outs. We've got our friend Destarian over in Poland.
Mr. Destarian.
And Kit's in the house. Snugs to Kit.
Snugs Kit. Very good.
And we've got a couple of Aussies in the house. We've got Dave 808 Turner and Craig Packman. So, yeah to you guys. G'day.
Very good.
And we've got Synthshire from Atlanta.
Hey,
and
there we
we're
go.
going to be kicking off with her track in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, very good. We have a wonderful show ahead of all of you, and I would like to, I don't know. What do we do at this point of the show, Jules?
Well, quick shout out to any listeners on Retro Hit Radio down in New Zealand, Australia.
Yes.
Because we are streamed there on Sunday nights.
Yeah, indeed.
New Zealand time. And you can go to retrohitradio.co.nz.
There it
and
is.
Get your fill of 24/7 80s and synthwave music, just like Nightride.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have our first track, and then after this, we're going to deep dive with the Mr. Viperdrive. And I'm very, very excited, Mr. Alex Viperdrive. You were actually a little bit on the Nightride FM station playing some rad mixes and stuff like that. So we'll dig into that. We'll chat a little bit. I guess you could say you're alumni, Nightride FM alum, and we can't wait to talk about your new music, all your stuff, and we'll figure out what soft drink you prefer and all that, important stuff later on. But before that, let's dig into our first track here, Mr. Jules.
Quick additional shout outs to Andy Ellis, who just joined us.
Hey, there's my
Wishy chat. And someone has joined. So hi, someone.
Hi, someone.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's kick it off with the latest single from Atlanta artist Synthshire. She's in the IRC chat, so if you want to talk to her, say hi, go right ahead. She kindly sent us this beautiful emotional track to us. Its mastering is done by none other than Von Herzog, and you can find this on our Bandcamp for immediate purchase and download, as well as all the streamy services. So here it is. This is Synthshire with Can't Stop Time, right here on Nightride FM.
And there it is, Can't Stop Time by Synthshire. And yes, I love that Synthshire voice. It's just
Congrats.
it's just good synthwave. It's like that classic vocals, not overdone and just nice and very nice and clean.
I like Synthshire's voice. She's
sweet.
She's smack in that sweet spot
Smack in
between
the sweet
somebody
spot.
like Jessie
Left and
Fry
right. Yeah, exactly.
and like a Nina
Right.
with like a little more edge.
Yeah.
I like it. And when Synthshire says she's got another single on the way, definitely going to be out before the end of the year.
Very good.
And,
Maybe
right now, Mr. Herzog is busy mastering that.
maybe we'll be lucky and we'll be able to put it on the show. That's always exciting. All right.
And by the way, we wanted to do some rhyming, right?
So here's our little experiment for the day. Because we love Viperdrive, we just thought it'd be fun because we're full of puns and rhyming words and stuff like that. We figured we would just kind of juice up the script a little bit. So we kind of added a few more things to just to give it a little bit more of a flow, like a poetic flow, like kind of like a masterpiece theater type of show. And many of our words
I don't deserve this attention. I mean,
listen,
I'm biting my tongue here. I want to start
we
rhyming.
pull out all the stops for alumni of Nightride FM. We spare no expense.
Today, Dennis, we're alive and in overdrive because we've got Viperdrive in the house.
There it is.
And once again, shout out to our listeners at Retro Hit Radio, wherever you strive, thrive, and vibe.
yes.
I love it. This is quality content right here. All right, so we're going to just deep dive into this little interview here, but this is more of an interview. This is a Nightride alumni and, of course, a fantastic producer. So I'm not even sure where to start. I should probably look at our script here to see
let me kick it off. So,
how many words start
Viperdrive.
with Viperdrive. Here, hang on.
When did you first contrive to make music?
Try. Oh my god, I don't think my memory goes back that far. But so probably 19 something.
Oh wow.
Well, it's.
Does it end with a 5?
I hope so for the sake of this bit. When I was about 13, something along those lines, long time ago.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very old, as you probably know. So I'm trying to think. Maybe early...
you're not as old as me. The carbon dating can't even date me.
I think we're near enough. I think probably the same. Probably about 12 or 13, I'd imagine. Early-ish 90s, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start with a doll? Did you start with an instrument? Where did you?
So it was
a tracker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was
tracker.
back when I first got my trusty Amiga 500, which I absolutely
the
loved.
best computer ever made.
Absolutely, I discovered I could do more with it than just make dirty pictures on Deluxe Paint. we didn't have the internet much back then. Bulletin boards, if you were that way inclined. But
the BBS with a 56K modem.
Yes,
yeah,
classic.
Even less than that, I think, back then. So, of course, tracker music and the demo scene was really starting to get big back then, and I, pretty much discovered that, like, a ton of new music around that time, exclusively kind of electronic music as well, which was great because I never really heard too much of that before, other than the 80s stuff around, 10,
Were you like me, where every time you got like a pirated game, the hackers would always, like the demo scene hackers would always put like a cool intro in front of a pirated game, and the music was amazing, and I swear to God that was the genesis of trance and dance, like EDM.
Jules recorded that and put it on a cassette and would play it. And
no, it was from disc to disc.
That is exactly how it started for me. I mean, it was none of this MIDI malarkey and all this Atari ST stuff, where you had to have a PhD to understand it. It was just, electronic music made on a computer using a tracker, very straightforward. Obviously, it took some time to get into, but pretty much every kind of Saturday morning was me kind of begging my mum for a couple of quid to go down to the local computer shop just to sift through their latest demo releases. And most of them, if they weren't game demos with those cool intros that you were talking about, they were just pure music demos. I mean, it was a different time.
So the demos, like, is there like I guess there's like a limited amount of sounds that you can have on those like demo trackers, like because computers were old back then. They didn't like write reports and stuff like that. Like did you find that like when you had like a limited palette like that, did you find that you were more creative, or now that you have like a library of every poly synth sound you can ever imagine or even make up, you know, do you find it's more overwhelming or limiting, or where's your sweet spot of color palettes, so to speak?
I think limitation even now is a good thing. I think it's always good to have some constraints. Having too many plugins or too many options when it comes to making music is just it's like when you got a library full of films, you know, or you're looking at Netflix. It's so hard to flick through something and find something you want to watch. Whereas if you went to Blockbuster, you'd head for the place you know the
section you would head to. We would all
exactly
head to that one.
Yeah, not that section. You just find something which was kind of a limitation of what the store had to offer.
Yeah,
you'd pick it up and take it home and watch it. But with so much
good
choice, which is so abundant now in everything, I'm getting a bit philosophical, you know, but you know, it's kind of
that type of show.
That's where it that's where it becomes difficult to really pin down a sound. And I think crafting a sound, which is something I don't think I've achieved yet, I'll be honest with you. I think I'm trying, definitely, but it's much easier to have some kind of constraints. And of course, back then, using trackers, we were limited to the capabilities of the computers, and the memory and the clock speeds and all that kind of stuff. It was usually just 4 channels, very, very basic, limited sample times, and even if you did sampling or just basic sine waves and pulse waves.
Yes.
Chiptune.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good to have it both ways too. And I like when they incorporate like the bloopity bloop stuff in like the new music too. I think that's just amazingly wicked that they can do that.
Lukash,
like
and all this Commodore 64.
Yes.
Lukash, I love. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
But
that kind of music is right up my street.
Indeed.
And so, Viperdrive, what drove you to thrive in the synthwave scene?
Thrive. Wow, that's a strong word. I suppose my drive to thrive. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, you're doing great.
So I'm obviously hugely nostalgic for the 80s. I love film and TV soundtracks from back then. So I suppose my inspirations: T.J. Hooker, Falcon Crest, Knight Rider, all the old 70s and 80s sounds of back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Heather Locklear and T.J. Hooker.
Oh man,
Yeah, that was a good stuff.
first series only, I think that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And what was it? It was the Fall Guy that had Heather Thomas.
Oh, sorry, it was the wrong way round. It was
Yep.
Heather Locklear was the mainstay in that series, but it was April something was in the first series, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, I don't want to.
I just remember the two shows had a crossover episodes where the two Heathers were in them together.
Oh wow!
And like they crossed that whatever. It was cool.
Yeah. 2 Heathers are always better than 1 Heather.
Absolutely,
For sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so I'm going to ask you the next question here. This is going to be fun for me. When did you first arrive with your debut track? Sorry, I had a dramatic pause. It's a type of show, you know. We're fancy. But yeah, so when did you come up with your first track? When was your first experience? So you said you were working it out with the Family trackers and everything like that, and is that when you just started cranking out music? Like when you put it out, like how did you put it out? Did you put it out on tape? Did you put it out on like a floppy disk? Like what was the first time that you actually created something and said, I think I have something that sounds like music, and then like hand it to somebody? Because that's like, to me, like that's the point when you become a musician. It's when you hand whatever it is you created to someone else and have them listen to it and be like, this is crap or this is great, you know, like could go either way. I mean, it could be your first track, so who knows. But when was that moment? What was it? What was it like? I'm sure it has an impression on you.
I think little tidbits of music that I'd not released but kind of made and I wanted to show people over the years. I mean, I've done that for 20 odd years now, but really when the first time I actually released anything was in 2018.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. Yeah. So, I mean, that was the first time I ever released anything to the public, and on streaming sites and all that kind of stuff. And that was Synthwave. And I've never been confident enough in, I won't say my abilities, because I don't think realistically I'm, I know comparison is the thief of joy, etc., but I don't think I'm up there with the best of them. But I just release what I can when I can, and my kind of sound, and so be it, whatever it is. And 2018 was the first time that I thought actually going to release something. And the reason that came about is because I was asked to do a gig of just playing my stuff that people knew of, which they knew I hadn't released anything, but they were aware that I made music, and they knew that I kind of liked all kind of 80s kind of sound and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
And was your first single, was it like Lovers in Time?
That was the first single, but the first thing I ever released was the album. It was
This Was Our Future.
Yes, yeah, that was the first thing I ever released, and all those tracks were in the making for probably since 2015/16.
Wow.
And
so quite a while.
2018 is when you unleashed it.
So they've been cooking for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of it was confidence, but because when I went out to do that gig, I had quite a few people turn up. It wasn't a huge turnout, but it was a good event, and I was supporting a local band who were actually quite big, a band called Catalysts, which are like a indie / alternative rock band, and they asked me to come along and support them, and I did, and people really liked it, and I was quite surprised by that. So I thought, well, hey, I'm just going to put all these tracks into an album and release it and see what happens. And it was, thanks to you guys and Neon Forks, especially you, sir, that helped
me bankrupting myself on
he
Bandcamp.
Is single-handedly supporting the entire synthwave scene all at once.
Absolutely.
He's like that.
So your first album really helped you to survive and stand out in this ever-growing genre, and I think it's time to hear a track from it.
Yes, indeed.
Do you want to give us maybe a little blurb about this track, Terminal Madness?
I can do, yeah. This is one of the tracks from the first album. This was Our Future. It was quite special to me because I really enjoyed. Obviously, I enjoy making all of them. I wouldn't release them otherwise. But this particular track it just had a hook that I really enjoyed playing, and I'm not very good on the keyboard, so I wanted to play it something that I could actually get to grips with. And it was actually featured on a charity album.
Nice.
That was from the Steel City Collective with Johnny Laser.
Okay.
Shout out Johnny.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was featured in that, and I was really proud to have it on there and privileged to be a part of it. So yeah,
very cool.
I hope everyone likes it.
Let's give it a spin. From the 2018 album, This Was Our Future. This is Viperdrive with Terminal Madness right here on Nightride FM.
program which I developed part of, and it's fun rather than a chore.
Asking, in effect, what you can do with a computer is like asking what you can do with an internal combustion engine. Airplanes, model airplanes, you can use an internal combustion engine to generate electricity, you see, but the computer is very much in that position now. It will in terms of its impact on our society.
And there it is, a little Terminal Madness by the Mr. Viperdrive. And we do have Viperdrive listening and joining us right here in the studio, Nightride FM, Mr. Alex Viperdrive.
By the way, I got to do a quick shout out to Power Play Milo, who's in the YouTube chat.
Very good.
Thanks for tuning in and listening,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Milo.
much for tuning in and enjoying this fine program.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Drive, you were mucking about with trackers back in the Amiga days.
Yeah.
Nowadays, when you're creating synthwave, what you sit down in front of what, a Mac or a Windows PC?
I'm an IT guy at heart, so I'm
so
a
you're
PC.
Windows. Okay, yeah.
Absolutely,
so
Windows.
I'm gonna guess that you're probably using Ableton.
Actually, no. I'm a Reaper fan. One, because it's cheap as chips, and so that got me into it on a budget. But also because I just can't get away from it. I love it. It does everything I want it to do. There's no bells and whistles. It just does the job.
Yep.
Wow, there we go.
It's a
Dennis,
good.
isn't that one of your favorites?
That is, I do like when I stopped using Audacity, I went right to Reaper because the price is right. Mm-hmm. And the price was right. So
the price is what, like $3?
It's $3, and you know,
kind of.
3 years later, it's still $3.
Three pounds.
If you pay $60, you get to use it with a clear conscience.
That's true.
Those
days are way past me to have a clear conscience.
A limited trial, I suppose you could say. Yeah.
Oh, trust me. You know, before I started DJing synthwave, I was ripping stuff off SoundCloud and YouTube,
yes.
and to get the MP3s, you know, in the shitty whatever 128
format
kilobits per second, right? And I had Spotify, of course. And then when I started DJing, I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right spinning these tracks. And that's when I hit Bandcamp, and that's when my bank account got reamed.
It got pretty beat up.
Easily done.
We have a self-help. We're trying to get him some help, and we're gonna get there, eventually. But it's good to support the scene, and we definitely do. And I know Jules definitely supports it more than half the people I know. But we love him for it.
There are people out there more insane than me. Thank God.
Good old synthwave, full of insane super fans who, just really, I don't know. They like to buy music and support the scene, and more power to them. We appreciate all.
Absolutely, 100%.
That goodness.
Thanks, guys.
To offset all the money I don't spend on dolls.
Right? Yeah.
I've outed you now, Dennis. That's the problem. Everyone knows.
Actually, you know what? That leads me to. I was having a discussion with someone the other day, not in the synthwave scene, but I was. You know how the topic of AI comes up.
Yeah, of course.
And the graphic artists are the ones that are hurting the most because you can just whip up album artwork or artwork for singles with just a little prompt instead of paying somebody like $50, $200
yes,
for a piece of art. Now, I feel for the graphic artists, but I think this triggered me. I saw one graphic artist knock a producer who released a single and he had AI artwork on it. And he didn't hide the fact that he had AI artwork, but this guy was kind of miffed, right?
Right.
He felt it was lazy. Now, here's the thing. There's an imbalance here. If you want to compare the two arts, there's an imbalance. You don't have graphic artists asking producers for tunes ever.
Right. Now,
right?
Are we going to get emails from this dissertation, Jules? Because if we get another angry email, I don't know what to do. I'm going to.
I'm just
I'll
thinking,
handle it. Let me handle it.
We're going to have to send them to Alex.
If you're a producer these days,
handle.
if you're a producer in indie music, you're not making squat from Spotify.
Jules, we
You're
make
making-
so much money on this podcast. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
We
We're
have
rolling it, dude.
plenty
although
of
my
$60 is to spend on Reaper. We have.
Well, my fee alone is just going to set you back, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Well, yeah, there you go. Right.
We'll wait for the bill.
Oh my God. But you know what? It's if an artist. Here's the thing. I think I will allow a musician to use AI artwork for single releases because you just spent like a month making a song.
All right.
And you're not going to make anything.
Jules is laying this down, so everybody that is listening, listen
You
carefully.
need some artwork to stick it up.
We are an acclaimed show.
If you're gonna do it, I say if you're gonna do an album, then you take the time.
If
to
it's
spend
an
the money,
album,
hire a
yes,
graphic artist.
you need to get a graphic art. But if it's a single,
Yeah,
we give you permission as the program that we are to just go hog ham on the AI.
And just remember, next time a graphic artist asks you for a song, charge them $200.
Can I just say, Jules, I do obviously have some skin in this game, and I remember a conversation that goes a lot like the one you're describing, and I know that you jumped in for that artist, and I've got to say thanks, man.
That was you know what? Yeah, you're right. That was your post.
There was one.
Oh,
Yeah, quite
God, I was
recently.
fuming for a weekend. I had to unleash on a friend at a bar. I was like,
And the thing was, the guy in question that kind of confronted me about it, because it was just a release. I hope you don't mind me talking about it. Obviously,
No,
somebody
not
shut
at
up.
all.
But if it was just just a release notification, here is my new track. I hope you all like it. Thanks for listening, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy just started going off on me. But the thing is, he's a really nice guy. All the
I
other
saw his
conversations
replies.
I've had.
Yeah.
He's a producer himself as well. Not to name any names. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Out anybody, but
it's-
it was just, and there was a genuine frustration there, and I can see it, and I can understand it. I mean, I wouldn't want personally to use 100% AI art if I didn't have to, and I didn't in that case actually, which is why I was a little bit miffed myself. But
look at Dennis. Like, look at the state of synth. Dennis, we spent some money on
this
our state
entire
of synth logo.
show is a wait.
And
What
that
are we
was
talking
that was
about?
our budget. That was our budget for the next 20 years. So we're reusing that logo till it's
We
dead.
are using that logo. Shout out to Patrick King.
Yeah, Patrick King.
Until
great
that,
artist.
until the flecks of stickers just wear off of the digital logo and the creases and the weather torn logo. Like in 5 years, we're gonna like get it reimagined, and it's just gonna be this like
it's gonna
tattered flag, barely waving with barely any color to it, and we're just gonna keep on
that is a
flying
great
that
idea.
flag because
like if we ever hit like
flag.
10 years, we should have like a tattered logo.
like it's gonna be it's gonna be, it'll look like you've like washed it like 1,000 times, and it like it ripped a little bit, so you get a little bit of, we're gonna have like that little like in the graphics where it looks like Scotch tape. It's gonna be a Scotch tape logo, and that's gonna be us because we paid
You know what? I have a
we
feeling
paid
though,
X amount of dollars for that, and we're proud that we
Andy Beyond Synth is still gonna be doing his show. I keep
of course.
hoping that we outlast him, but he won't stop.
No,
will
he will not ever quit. Andy is a true professional and a lifer in the scene.
I do miss the Forever Synth Boys though. They had a fun show.
Those boys were fun. All right, what are we talking
So
about?
Mr. Viperdrive,
Yes, sir.
what inspires you to strive and thrive in your music?
I just want to improve what I do and get better, and I want to hopefully impart some of the kind of the awesome, like overwhelming nostalgia. I know that sounds cheesy, but that what I feel when I create the stuff, I want people to kind of feel the same thing. And it's just it's such a big thing for the 80s. It has been for the last probably 10 years now in the media. And
Absolutely.
It's a big thing. Obviously, you got things like Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, which have become so huge in popular culture, which is great. I love all of that. But it's, and I don't want to kind of disenfranchise other people from the kind of the whole the whole vibe. But
even Kavinsky's doing it these days.
Yeah,
Whole retro thing.
I'm an old man at the end of the day, and I was there, and it was different, and there was a different time. There's so many cool memories, and sitting in front of the TV on a Saturday morning watching endless hours of cartoons and just grown adults making complete buffoons of themselves.
One thing I will admit, you know how people there's always this argument about the nostalgia for the 80s, and they're like, oh, it wasn't neon soaked bright colors all everywhere.
Oh,
it was
brown.
depending where you were.
There's a lot of brown.
Like in the mall it was, but at home most people were sitting in a basement with wood paneling, with brown couches and ugly
50
mottled carpets,
50
and
ashtrays.
yeah, the stereo system had wooden paneling on it, and so does your Atari 2600. It was all wood paneling everywhere.
Yeah, it was leftover from the
absolutely.
70s for sure. But
Yeah,
all right, so
huge influences from there, and like all of the soundtracks of the TV shows, for example, that we don't love so much. I mean, a lot of that was 70s music. It was 70s inspired, which was the kind of the theme of the 80s.
all right, so you're sitting in the basement. What is your go-to show? Like your go-to? It's coming on. Get the hell out of the house. I'm going to sit here on this couch by myself, just jamming out to the show. What was your go-to favorite, hands down favorite show?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Golden Girls. I absolutely
love the
those
Golden
girls.
Girls. Oh my God.
I could watch them all day, every.
They were hilarious. Betty White was absolutely hilarious. And
Betty White.
Rue McClanahan, was that her name?
Yeah, Blanche.
Blanche was great. It was a full cast. They had the older lady who was the ma, and she was like that old Italian. She had that. I had no idea, what cliche Italian was, but she, everyone had their little personality quirks, and of course Betty White. She was just absolutely just amazing, like with that Minnesotan, and the fish and the herring, and it was just hilarious.
Tales of St. Olaf. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So yeah, I'm right with you. You and I must be very close in age.
I think so. Yeah.
But you're both young, and
we will not reveal that to anyone, or people will stop listening.
We'll play a song. Before we do, though, do you have like any time for gaming in your busy life? Because I know you've got a family, like Dennis.
Yes, unfortunately.
So where do you find the time? Like, do you have time to play games at all? Do you keep up with any video gaming?
Sometimes. So my kids are tweens and teens, so they do most of the gaming in my house.
They're on automatic pilot. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I mean,
take care of them.
I'll be honest. I bought myself. I used to play Xbox loads. I used to love Halo, playing that with my friends, and those days are gone, and I'm nostalgic for that. But amazing. What a soundtrack! It's so cool.
Sorry,
it's music to Jules' ears.
No, man, I'll get into it with you now. But yeah, I don't do much gaming myself, but I do have a Quest 3, which I bought not so long ago.
Oh my God. You and I are going to be best friends.
Yes.
We are best friends.
But I ended up playing a lot of racing games on there, so I do. And I've streamed a couple on Facebook now and again. I'm crap at them, I'll be honest with you, but I have a go.
We gotta exchange, what is it, Meta Quest handles now or something like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I did load up the Beat Saber editor on my PC, and I took one of Honeybeard's tracks and made a level in Beat Saber with it, and then I was going to do Starcadian and Droid Bishop, but then I got lazy.
Yeah, laziness.
Because that would have been cool.
Because you got to create, it's just creating stuff such a drag sometimes.
I know, man. That's why we leave it to you musicians to make music. We'll just listen to it.
We talk dumb talk, and we just bring people on that are more talented than us, and then that makes us look good. See, that's how we program our shows, but it pays off in the end. But yeah, I've been playing Skyrim. The Skyrim, you got to play it with 580 mods on the computer, streamed through your Oculus. And I'm telling you, as a kid, I always wanted to have that immersive thing where I'm in the world and I have a sword in my hand and I'm a wizard, and it's like 8-year-old Dennis in fruition. It has come to fruition. I am the nerd with my sword in my hand and my magic spells, and I love every minute of it. So yeah, shout out to VR. If anyone wants to sponsor us in the VR realm, we are not, as you can see, we're not picky.
Speaking of which, didn't Nightride host some VR dance
nights?
Did.
We had a little thing called Club Nightride, and it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of things in... did you ever experiment and go into chat? What is it? I wanted to call it Chat GPT, but that's a different thing.
Nice.
VR chat,
yeah.
It's fun. You could be a bunny. You could be, glitter cat, whatever you want to be. I was always just a dude. I was the most boringest guy in the room. You could be a glitter cat, you could be a raccoon, and it's just I was a dude with a polo shirt. that was me.
I'll tell you what's a bit like that now is the Horizon Worlds. I don't know if you've played on that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of. It's mostly kids though, which
oh my god, yeah.
Just doing everyone's head in, but it's screaming, swearing.
Oh my god, yeah. When I walk into some of those kids' environments, and it's like walking through a schoolyard. Yeah. And I'm like, nope, I'm noping out of here.
Out of this room. All right, so we have to. My God, we are going very, very far off script here. So let's circle back. Let's get a track on, and let's find some more Viperdrive rhymes that we can insert, and we'll keep the show moving.
All right. Well, here's a track from Viperdrive that makes us feel like we're taking a wild drive. This is Drift Rider right here on Nightride FM.
Amazing.
overside several times.
Drift Rider by Viperdrive. Fantastic.
Yeah, that track, booty slapping.
Yeah.
Quick shout outs to Aero Team, who has joined us in the IRC, as well as Foptionism Dunjour, who's also tuned in.
Very nice.
And we've been joined by another Aussie, our Overlord, Z, who's in the house.
Is Mr. Z. Very good, very good. It's very exciting. I love all the Australians.
Mr. Drive something.
Yes. Oh, so here's my favorite part of that track that we just listened to. It's that part that goes Rag Rider. Or I don't even know what it says, but it's just like so. I think we talked about this last time on the show when you just take something and you just mash it up and make it sound a little bit human, but mostly digitally, just like very distorted and glitchy and computery. Like, was that like a sample? Like, how did you make that little sample? You know what I'm talking about, right? That part of the song.
I do, and I'm going to take all the mystery and magic away from it and just tell you that it's a free VST. It's called VST Speak for anyone that's interested. That's SPEEK by Waversaw, and it's an old kind of Commodore Amiga voice emulator type thing. And you just type into it, and it's text to speech. You type into it and let it go, and it can manipulate voice.
That's like a early AI kind of stuff. It can kind of like make your
Indeed.
voice sound different, make different things up, and so that's pretty wicked. And I still think it sounds rad. Like, you didn't take any of the mystique away. That was the perfect answer. Like, I mashed down some keys, I typed some stuff in, and I pressed enter, and amazing magic sounds happen. Like, that's what it's all about. So the samples now, like, you didn't get the samples from that. It was more like a race car kind of. Did you take? Is it like from a race, like a well-known race, or did you find that?
Just honestly, just trawling YouTube and just looking for old kind of clips of old races. Yeah, I think the intro, the intro's from an old film. It's like a chase scene in a film. I can't remember what it was in actual fact, which is terrible. I should know all about it. But it was just a random clip that I found. I thought, well, that'll work. That's exactly this kind of sound that I want. So
that's fantastic. I love it. It's one of my. In fact, we did a mix of that. If you go to the Nightride FM YouTube page, we actually did a nice little mix of many tracks, and it's got like a fast little race car on the front, and features that Drift Rider by Viperdrive. So if you want to pop on a mix, it's a good. I thought it was pretty good. you know. But somebody said it wasn't fast enough. So that's, you know, it is what it is. You can only go so fast at this age, you know.
Well, yeah, speaking of fast, Mr. Viperdrive, what fuels your drive? What's your favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food. That's an interesting one. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you I love a cheese and pickle ploughman sandwich. I don't know if you know what that is. Or
Yeah, we have ploughman's. Yeah,
A
ploughman's sandwich.
ploughman?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's just basic, but it's nice. But
Is that like a pickle sandwich? Just pickles on a sandwich?
just like a sandwich pickle? I don't know if you guys have it over there.
So
It's
you
kind
just
of
make a
like-
sandwich out of pickles?
Yeah.
It's a sandwich, but you like usually you put something simple in a ploughman's.
Is there
sandwich,
anything
don't
other
they?
than pickles? Is it just like lined with pickles? Like, do you use like bread or do you use like pickles?
crusty bread. Always crusty bread.
Okay, I was gonna say if you use like pickle, you could like use pickles for the bread, and then the pickles in the middle.
It's like one of those lettuce sandwiches.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that won't be good enough for me. You've seen me, right? I don't like lettuce sandwiches. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorites. But I'll be
Sounds
honest.
delicious.
I mean, a couple of months ago, in fact, we went to a Thai street food restaurant. And I had something called a roti, which I know from like Indian food and stuff.
Yep.
But it was like a crunchy wrap with some lovely kind of beef in it. I can't even describe it. My
And
mouth's just
peanuts,
watering.
right? Peanuts.
Yeah,
beef.
satay, something along those lines.
That peanuts.
It
And
was
everything.
insane. I think it's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh my god.
How can you say that when you've got pork pies? Do you know? Okay, let me tell you, pork pies. Like, you know, a good Mowbray pork pie, you cannot, like here in Canada, we've got a couple of Brit stores or UK stores or pastry stores, and you go and buy a pork pie from them and it's disgusting. And I think it's because here we use shredded pork or something in these
Yeah,
pies instead of
You got to use
like
the
a-
lumpy,
like the pate,
dumpy
like, you know,
pork pie. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
like big
Yeah,
shards.
I like a
of
pork pie. I'm not keen on the jelly stuff that they have in there, though. That's not really my thing.
That's all the flavor right there. Whoa. That with some HP sauce.
Oh, now you're talking. HP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh wait, Dennis, you
Yes.
guys have you guys have HP. I know you can get it,
I don't
but
think
you
we
guys
do.
use A1 sauce.
We use
instead.
A1 sauce. That's
Yeah.
the American thing. Yeah.
and I think
Google
A1
it.
is actually closer to Worcester sauce.
Right. It's kind of like a sister to your Worcestershire. Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
It's Worcester, right?
It's exactly right.
Stop
Yeah.
it. It's not Worcester.
Worcester.
Stop it. All right.
Score one for Jules. Worcester sauce.
Yep.
All right. So you guys can use fancy words. We've already established that. Okay.
Worcestershire.
Chestershire. It's got to have shire at the end in order to be fancy. So we're gonna make our show. We're gonna put the word shire in front or behind our show title, and the state of Synthshire. Ooh, I think I just named our episode. But all
That's
right,
a very good name.
I gotta admit, like, you guys over in the UK, you got the coolest town and city names. Like Emilio,
you do.
he lives in Newcastle upon Tyne. Like upon Tyne, it's just so.
Tyne.
It sounds so.
Like, do you guys like?
aristocratic.
Do you say that stuff with a straight face, like when you're like saying these streets and stuff like that, or do you just crack up every time you say it?
Well, I'll be honest. Where I live in Wales, shout
Oh,
out to God's country once more. No, where I live, we have dual languages. So the first language of Wales officially is Welsh.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the road signs, all of the place names have a Welsh name as well as the English name, which is technically the translation. So for the most part, they're words that not even I can pronounce. I'll be honest
So
with
I
you.
was about to ask you. You know that town in Wales with the longest name in the world?
Oh yeah, that's. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, come
No
on.
chance.
Come on.
I have
Can
not
you?
got a clue how to say that word. No,
Okay, because I once watched this like weather broadcaster say it flawlessly, and my jaw was on the floor.
I've seen that clip as well. Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Wow. Okay. So let's get back to the music.
Yes.
What are you working on now? What you got? More tunes in the pipe?
Yes. So I'm
So
basically
is
trying
Mr.
to.
Mr. Viperdrive in the pipe 5x5?
5x5 in the pipe, alive. I just can't think of anything else. Damn it! So yeah, I was at the moment I'm trying to finish the other 9,000 other demos I've got on my computer. Probably one day I'll get through them. But I'm working on album number 4, very slowly, of course. I think it's probably something like 2.5 years in the making, that one as well.
Well, you got 4 more
time.
to, get up to speed with your first album. You said
Exactly,
you're working
yeah.
on that for like 4 or 5 years, right? So, what's
such
time?
a long time. I know, such a long time.
We'll be
But there's a
around.
couple of collabs in the pipeline I'm looking forward to. So definitely one with my really good Italian friend and confidant Matteo, aka Sunset Surrender, who you might know, formerly of the Golden Hour fame. He and I have been working on some stuff in the background, not as much as either of us would like at the moment, but I think we're both very busy with work. But and potentially when I get my backside into gear, something similarly as special, I hope, with what happened in the not too distant future with Mr. Turbo Knight, who he and I have been speaking with each other.
You do realize
recently.
TK like whips out a song in 5 seconds.
The guy's a legend. I mean, the fact that he and I were talking, and he said we should do something together one day. I was like, well, that's I think I would have made it, mama. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, can't wait for that.
But it's just slaves to time and other responsibilities, unfortunately, and shaking my fist.
Yeah, other things like life and
I know,
family.
Dennis. Can you believe? I was just mentioning to Z, like the Nightride FM app on Android needs a little update, right? So it can be installed because it's hidden from some users.
Just
I guess
a little
who have newer
sprucing,
OSs.
little pruning.
Can you believe this? Z says he has no time. Z has no time.
No
I don't
time, Z.
I don't understand that because I thought he would just do it in his sleep.
He can invent time. He's so smart. He can just like generate time like people can generate electricity.
Yeah, write some code to make some more time.
Wow, what's your hourly rate, Z?
I know. Yeah, he'll be a millionaire.
All right, we're gonna work
so
on
if-
that. But yeah, I think we should we play another track?
I think so. We'll play the last track of yours tonight, your most recent one. You just released this, in mid-August?
Ooh.
Yeah,
And,
quite recently.
Yeah, it's called Remember Me. Anything you want to say about it?
Again, this was a long time in the making. I had a demo going for this a while back, and I put some feelers out there with a little short video, and some people said, yeah, work on it and release it, so I did. But it's more of a homage to the end of the era of the 80s for me, this one. Not that it's the end for me, of course, but
it'll never be the end.
The 80s will last forever in our heads.
Yep. All right, well, let's play it. This is Viperdrive with Remember Me right here on Nightride FM.
through a decade of events so momentous, so joyful, so tragic. At the end, you think, what happened to me in these past years? But the 80s changed the course of history.
We have seen things happen in Europe and Asia and around the world in science and medicine that will shape the world of the 21st century. And some familiar things and some great people left us. So as we say goodbye to the 80s, we say goodbye to them. Take a look now at the video.
And there it is, a little Viperdrive with Remember Me. Very, very nice.
Pure, the reverb in that.
And the DJ-friendly mixes is what I like. I like the fact that you have mixes for, the people that mix. And that's why I love using your music.
I remember when I discovered you, I was listening to another artist, Advection Stride.
Advocation Stride?
Advection Stride.
Oh,
and his music was a little harder, but there was a lot of similarities in your styles, and they were always DJ friendly. So they were always like my go-to tracks when I'm trying to mix songs when I'm DJing, because the structure and everything is perfect. As long as you got the same key in the next song.
4 on the floor, baby.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that's it. I think with DJ brains, I kind of put that into everything when I make music generally. I'm trying.
Sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So before we go into socials, though, I did want to once again mention that you do have some stuff in the Nightride FM archives. How was that? Was that fun for you? I know, like, the whole life and stuff got in the way, and that happens. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing on this show half the time. I should be doing something productive, but so how long did you DJ with Nightride? Because you did mixes, right? You did like from stuff and
June 2020 all the way up to November 2020.
Yeah, it was pretty much all through the lockdown. Well, for the first part of the lockdown period, I suppose.
Club Electric.
Yeah, Club Electric. That's right. Yeah. So and it was, I think, it had a fairly good following as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew a lot of people that would tune into either because it was like simulcast on 2 stations. So it was on Nightride and also on another one which a friend of mine runs here in Wales. So so that on the 2 stations, everyone could kind of jump in and hear it, and
we loved it.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed doing it. It was great. I'd love to get back into it as soon as I get more time on my hands when I retire at 50.
We're gonna get Z to
corner.
Z's gonna progress. He's gonna program us up some extra time.
There you go.
That would be fantastic.
And by the way, I posted a link to your last archive show in November 2020.
Yeah, because it was good.
So if anybody wants to listen to Club Electric, the Viperdrive, the link is in the chat, and of course you can just head over to our archive section on nightride.fm, because Z is a whiz, and everything we broadcast is recorded straight to an MP3 available for you.
That's right.
We were talking behind that last song about your artwork, and you mentioned something about where that cool artwork of you standing in front of the DeLorean with a snake wrapped around your arm.
Yeah.
So where did that come from?
So my wife, my fantastic wife Emma, had that commissioned for me for one of my birthdays. I'm pretty sure it was my 40th. I should remember that. She's going to kill me if she's listening to this. So yeah, and that was it was done by an artist and animator by the name of Brock Star Curry, who was involved in the Carmen Sandiego, the recent Carmen Sandiego series on Netflix. Somehow, I'm not sure how, but he was either an animator or an artist, an illustrator for that show.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, she had that done for me, and
Wow.
it's so cool.
Well, very good. Okay. One of these days, Jules wants to wear that on the shirt. He told me.
I know. I need that on a shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna
head over to what's it called? Something
Threadless or thread shirts
or what's the other one?
Red Bubbles. Something.
Not Red Bull.
Red Bull Bubbles.
Red Bubble. That's
Red Bubble. Yeah.
But,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I got
we'll
234 shirts, and none of them say Viperdrive on them.
Yeah. So we
need that fixed.
Let's fix that. Yes.
That's merch.
Fix
but
that.
You are online, and I believe you're on pretty much all the socials. And it's at Alex Viperdrive, correct?
Most of the time, yeah, it's at Alex Viperdrive for things like Instagram and X, which I'm not particularly that active on. You probably don't want to follow me on there as well because it's a cesspool, and yeah, I'm subject to that sometimes myself. So ignore all that. But yeah, I've recently got myself a TikTok account. I'm quite enjoying that. I'll be honest with you. I'm a serial scroller. I shouldn't be at my age. But yeah, I do spend a bit of time on that, and I posted quite a few videos of clips of my old stuff. So.
I can't post on that because I'm just too lazy to even make a clip up, but it does, when it sucks you in, like I can see how, the kids are addictive, and like they just scroll and scroll and scroll. Like I had no idea, like in the beginning, it was just girls twerking, which, hey, not that I have a problem watching that, but I am pushing 50, and it's time to get something a little bit more,
hang up the loins. Is that what you're saying?
Just trying to class it up a little bit. So now I scroll, and it's actually video game stuff, which I'm still a 15-year-old kid in my heart. And it's a lot of synthwave. It's a lot of synthwave stuff. And we also own a corgi dog. They're like the little dogs that have the short legs and stuff. and the big butts. So now it's honestly, it went from girls twerking to corgis
twerking.
wiggling their big twerky butts, and that's my feed for my TikTok, and I love it. It's fantastically addictive. So, right with you, man.
Well, my feed on TikTok is just all either bedroom DJs playing some pretty good music, actually, or fortune tellers. That's it.
Oh,
that's all I get, and I have no idea why the algorithm is just all over me with those things. But yeah,
That's awesome.
I don't get the algorithm.
I wonder if Yoda. I wonder if she has her own TikTok. She's very social savvy, but I don't know. She's very
Did we ask her?
refined. She has. We should. We may or may not have her on in the future. Just a little sneak peek.
Returning Yoda.
You can go to thestateofsynth.com, find out all the shows we have coming up ahead, and she might be listed there eventually for a date. So find out.
So I guess that's it. We got to thank you, Mr. Viperdrive, for joining us and keeping Synthwave alive.
Are we still working on the puns?
I think this
I
is the
ran
last
out of
one.
sound effects. We were all we got ones left.
But yeah, it's like just past midnight for you, isn't it?
1:15, yeah, absolutely. Well,
Right.
I got all the time in the world for you guys, and thanks both of you for having me on, and thanks everyone for
Thank you.
for listening to me drone on. I appreciate it.
Let us know when you've gotten. Well, obviously, we'll know when you're dropping new singles, but we'll play them on the show. We'll shout out your name and do what we can to make you rich and famous.
Yep.
I mean, Dennis and I were saying, like, we had the Midnight on, and we had Cannons on, and both are signed to Sony now. So,
We're just saying it's.
I was just saying.
It could be.
I'm in the company of greatness.
It could be the sign of greatness that you're on the
So
show.
some A&R guy at Sony is listening to our show.
Yeah, he's like, this is good stuff.
That's got to be it.
And there's me waving to him in the distance, just the little guy. Listen to my stuff.
You never know. You never know when that
It rhymes. It does. I swear.
All right.
But
So
we got to thank you again for coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure,
And,
guys. Thanks.
It was
Appreciate
an
it.
honor. And we wish you a good night.
yes.
Stay with us for a sec. We're just gonna play out some music for our listeners.
Yeah. Another banger right here. Speaking of glitchy, computery sounding things.
Yeah, we got the Swedish synth lord Wave Shaper. He's released a somewhat chill track for Wave Shaper, at least.
Yeah.
It's a follow-up to its single Radio Signal. So this is Mr. Shaper with Infinite right here on Nightride FM.
And that was Infinite by Wave Shaper.
Wave Shaper. You know what? I forgot to post the track, the Bandcamp link in the chat, so I'm doing that right now.
All right. Mr. Jules, fantastic work. That was a nice, swell guy. Once again, the Mr. Viperdrive. Fantastic guy, great music, and knows, a little bit about the tracker, the Family Tracker.
And Golden Girls.
And Golden Girls. I mean, that's
and wood paneling.
That hits close to the heart, honestly. All right, so we're gonna do a 1-2 punch here. We got 2 tracks. We're gonna play back to back here. So I think we should just dive into this.
Let's see. Netherlands artist, or should I say, Hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Heartbeat Hero.
Sounds delicious.
Has just released a new single that's most definitely a slight departure from his usual synth. Like usually he's got a little bit of dance pop styles going on.
Yeah.
This track is deep, hard, and slightly dark. So here it is. This is Heartbeat Hero with Punk Cyber right here on Nightride FM.
His little Heartbeat Hero with Punk Cyber. Punk Cyber.
That was intense.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Punk Cyber. Punk Cyber.
It was pretty intense there, I gotta say. Jules, we have a quick shout out here. We have a very special guest listening to our show.
In our IRC, we got a shout out to Lord Pigger. And the Major, who's also joined us. And over in the YouTubes, Sandy.
Ooh, Sandy, very nice. In. All right.
Well, hey, thanks for tuning in and listening.
Appreciate you.
What's up?
All right, so we're going to go into, what do we got? What's this part of the show? This is the part
our
of the
events.
show.
Yes, Synthwave events.
touring events.
I just gotta say, I think the Midnight Danger finished off their tour tonight in Stockholm.
Oh, there it is.
Hometown for them.
Very
so yeah, that was nice.
Wonderful. All right, so we're going to kick it off here with September 17th through 17th is tonight. We have the UK and Ireland. We have LeBrock and Wolf Club, and that's UK and Ireland. We had the wonderful Indigo on the show last week, who was very much in with Wolf Club. So check that out. If you're in the area.
That goes on until September 28th.
Yeah.
And let's see, from now till October 9th, Brother Tiger is still on tour in North America, so that's US and Canada. And if you haven't seen one of his shows, you have to. The guy carries around like $20,000 worth of synths.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't know. That's ballsy, but hey.
I don't know how he fits that on a plane, but that's his problem, not ours.
Not ours.
September 17th through October 18th, we have the North American tour for the Midnight and Chromeo. I am in that tour. I'm going to be going to that show. In fact, they have a comic book signing, so I might be able to meet Mr. Tyler.
Are they doing that in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, right in Philly.
Aw, you lucky. They're not doing. Ain't doing no comic book signing
I'm
here
getting
in
some
Toronto.
comic books. I'm going to meet Tyler for finally meet him in person. I think that's going to be, and just for the price of a comic, which I like my comics. Yeah. So check that out. What else we got?
Let's see. Quick shout out to Blobs, who's in the YouTubes. Blobs, thanks for tuning in. September 25th to November 19th, the Tour.exe, that's Master Boot record. They're coming back to North America, doing a little bit of the Central and West Coast, and then they're popping back to Europe. So yeah, Master Booty record on tour.
Vibe. Very good. October 5th, this one is a big show in Denver, USA. We have the Synth Bangers 2024 with Arcade High, The Bad Dreamers, Starfare, Watch Out for Snakes, The Runaway Wild, Master Boot record again, Jacket, Cosmonic. Making sure I got that said right. Bob Sink, DJ's Tower, and J. Eric and Nick V. So that's a big show.
One hell of a lineup.
Yeah.
So good on Denver. Let's see. October 3rd to November 26th, Essenger is on tour all over the U.S.
Yeah, go see him. He's an excellent producer. Very good. And we have, once again, the North America tour with Dance with the Dead and Corrine. That is November 12th through December 15th. That is all throughout U.S. and Canada.
And let's see. Finally, we're not forgetting the UK here. December 9th to March 21st, the Pressure Point Tour. Ollie Ride kicks off his UK and USA tour.
Yeah, that's very exciting. You can find out all about the Synthwave events by going to just Google it. Like honestly, it's gonna show up our website, and it's pretty fancy, and you can find out when your next favorite show is going to be playing. So good on you. All right,
Z and his magic.
Yeah,
getting Synthwave events on the
old
link in Google.
Old interwebs.
The interwebs. So let's switch gears now and take a listen to a track from Greek artist 789's latest EP called Disco Demolition. And this EP, it features all kinds of disco infused with, I guess, synthwave fusion songs.
Ooh,
and
exciting.
This song, it's called Serendipity. And you're hearing it right here on Nightride FM.
Jules, I really like that song. That was
Yes.
super wicked fun. That's called Serendipity by 7DD9 out of Greece.
I highly recommend
right?
everybody check out this EP. Yeah, he's Greek.
I love it.
The EP is called Disco Demolition. There's like 4 other tracks on this EP, and some are even more disco-y. Some are a little more. I tell you, man, listening to this guy, you can time warp to the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, get your Golden Girls in there, and you're the that sound a little bit like the sound of Philadelphia too, like kind of like that rocky.
Yeah.
You know, that 70s rock. I feel like I'm outside jogging in Philly in my sweatpants.
Dude, check out some of his other, like his discography. He's
Just
got
punching
some really
slabs of meat. Yeah, I love it.
With your little hoodie on.
With my hoodie on and my my bandana, you know, my 70s bandana that I would wear all the time.
Your
my
smoker's
sequin
gloves.
vest, my smoker's gloves, and you know, just hitting just a big slab of meat with my bloody fingernails and my bloody what are they called? Knuckles?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, the knuckles. Of
bloody
the beef,
knuckles. Yeah. All right. Enough of that.
You know what? I gotta. Sandy was asking if that was a DX7 bass. It wouldn't surprise me because 7DD9, I think, is a big fan of the DX7.
Of course, it's a DS. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
So, you know what? From that fun little disco romp, let's jump into French artist Mercury 82's latest single, which is a pumping dance and house flavored synth track. So yeah, and from that we go to something a little more DJ clubby. This is Mercury 82 with Baby right here on Nightride FM.
Oh man, Jules, I freaking love that track. Oh my god, that's just like, that's my jam. That's my new jam. So that was Mercury 82 with Baby. And yeah.
Oh, once again, the French, man. That little
Those
je ne sais quoi.
French people, let me tell you, they are almost as good as the Greeks. Like with they're just
who are almost as good as the Brits.
Almost
who
as
are
good
almost
as the
as good
Brits.
as
And the Americans are like just
who
right
are almost as good as the Aussies.
We're just scraping the bottom, but that's okay because that's what we do. We love it. But yeah, that was amazing. Wrap up time, Patreons, blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Yeah. So,
you know the routine.
Oh yeah, you know what? If you want to help Nightride stay running, pay for the server costs and all the streaming, the 24/7 music, and us goofy DJs who like to hijack the stream once in a while, you can go to patreon.com/NightRideFM, become a Patreon. That's right. And of course, you can always support Dennis and I. Dennis created a wonderful website called thestateofsynth.com.
I just used AI. No big deal.
I just used AI.
But you can find out when the next show. We have some really cool shows coming up. I know we've been trying to fill in the schedule. We have the schedule filled up all the way until like the middle of November. So we have a lot of cool shows, a lot of great guests. Check it out. And we put our times up there. So hopefully you can check the next show live. But if you don't, you can always go to Spotify. You can go to wherever wonderful podcasts are being played.
Yeah, like Deezer.
Like Deezer, the fine services like Deezer that I still don't know what they do.
We're on Apple Music too. So
yeah.
For those of you who still use Apple.
And last but not least, of course, we are on Retro Hit Radio. You can check us out every Sunday night. They do a playback at 10 p.m. their time. Retro Hit Radio. You can find that out at retrohitradio.co something.
.nz.
Something.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much our show. Yeah, we have one more track.
Big thanks, man. Big thanks to our guest, Alex, aka Viperdrive.
Yes.
He makes incredible tunes, DJ friendly and beautiful.
Come back to the show anytime, or just hop on the old Night Ride. Do us a nice little set because we love your music, and it was always fun when he would do his weekly shows, and maybe we can just woo him back with our wonderful kindness and warm hearts and bring him back.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we're going to play you all out. A quick thanks again to everyone who tuned in tonight. Craig's not here, although lately he wants me to just do a quick rundown of everybody we had in the chat, so I'm going to do a real quick. Destarian, Kit, Viperdrive, who joined us in the chats, Dave 808 Turner, Craig Packman, Synthshire, the Andy Ellis, someone, Powerplay Milo, Foptionism, Dunjor, Aero Team, Z joined us, Lord Pigger, Sandy over on YouTube, The Major, and Blobs.
And all you lurkers, all the lurkers who don't come on to the chat room, we still love you. Thanks for listening. We know you're out there.
Speaking of which, if you go to thestateofsynth.com/shoutout, you can leave us a little message that we will
read over the air.
Say.
We got no shout-outs this week. No shout-outs.
No shout-outs.
Although we did get something from the Mr. Rex Balls, who didn't send it through there, but he sent it through Discord, and I already forgot what he had some suggestions on what Indigo could call her next album. So yeah, we will put that out. We'll put it out on the show.
We got
next
time.
week.
I think she said she's still
cooking that thing forever, and she'll get to all the wonderful suggestions. If you have any suggestions for us, what you like, what you don't like, if you just want to talk about the new Coke that is Oreo flavored, which I love, Oreo flavored Coke Zero, you can just shout us out for that.
Blasphemous.
It's delicious. It's full of nutritional Oreo flavoring, and we love it. So from all of us, from Nightride FM,
we're going to play you out with a track from UK artist Max Parker's latest album, Lucid. It's chock full of meditative ambient sounds layered with an atmosphere and chilled drums and waves. So it's a great way to end the show. This track in particular feels
All that. And then some.
That's all, folks. It features a collab with LA artist Shadowrunner.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is Max Parker with Ascension featuring Shadowrunner. From all of us here at Nightride FM, have a great night.
And we will see you next week, I think. I don't even know who we have scheduled.
We'll find someone.
We'll figure something out. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.